Good evening. We will start today's session. So, Nishant, you can start your presentation. I'll give you the access.
Sure, am I visible?
Yeah, you're visible.
So is my screen visible?
Yeah, it's visible as well. You can start.
So good evening, everyone. I am Nishant, and my task name was to cloud computing applications in stock market investing, and I'm from the cloud computing group. So the task objectives were to learn about the applications of cloud computing in stock market investing, including real-time data analysis, machine learning, and high performance compute. So the another task objective was to explain and demonstrate algorithmic trading using cloud and to get more insights in order to manage cloud infrastructure operations for Hackveda. So what is cloud computing in stock market investing? So cloud computing plays a significant role in stock market investing by providing the necessary infrastructure, storage, and computing power to facilitate various aspects of the investment process. So here are some of the key ways in which cloud computing is utilized in stock market investing. So the first way is data storage and accessibility. And the second way is algorithmic trading and high frequency trading. So the third way is big data analytics, risk management and compliance, and collaboration and remote access. So what are the different components of algorithmic trading? So the algorithmic trading involves four components. The first component is algorithmic trading engine. So this engine is a core solution where the trading strategies are created, tested, and operated using historical and real-time data. So it also helps in managing interactions with other solution components, and providing users with the analytics and reporting capabilities. So the second component is market data adapter. So this adapter feeds the engine with different data types such as real-time market data, historical price data, and other types of data. So the third component is exchange broker adapter. So this adapter manages the interactions with the exchange, and for example, to place or revoke the orders and get the status and other tasks. So the fourth component is data storage. It consists of historical market data, order trades, ML and machine learning other models, and also it provides strategy performance. So taking an example, real world example of algorithmic trading, this is an example of a grow app interface. So for example, you want to buy a share of Reliance Industries. So using algorithmic trading, you can get the historical data. For example, for on this date, the price of Reliance Industries was say 2000 and the current price is 2146. So there is an exponential growth, and it helps in investment for the traders. So what are the various AWS services which are used in for stock market investment? So the various services are EC2, S3, DynamoDB, Lambda, Cloud9, Data Exchange, SNS, SageMaker, Data Glue, QuickSight, and Event. So what are the advantages of using AWS services for stock market investment? So here are the pros for the stock AWS for using the AWS services. The the pros are that it is extensive, cost effective, it provides enhanced security, it is innovative, and it is a global leader. And the cons of using AWS services are its resource limitation, security issues, technical support fee, cloud computing issues, and the lack of right professionals. So let's move on to the demonstration of my task. So as these AWS services are chargeable, I have attached the screenshots for the same that I have performed. So the first step was to create a cloud formation stack. So here I have created a stack named Algo Trading Stack in cloud formation. So the second step was to subscribe to the given data. So I went to AWS a data exchange and subscribed to this data. For this data provides the end of day historical data for the top 10 US companies by market cap. And this data was of CSV format. And the third step was to go to entitled data in the data exchange. And then I had selected all the assets and exported it to an Amazon S3 bucket. So after exporting, I had typed the following code in the Jupyter notebook, which is automatically created when we initiate the process. So I went to the SageMaker and opened the Jupyter notebook. In order to preview the data, I typed the following code. And in order to populate the S3 bucket with the CSV file, as I showed in the previous slide, I typed in this for code. So the next step was to use Amazon Athena and run the queries and get the historical data from the S3 bucket. So I had typed this query for getting the historical data, which was stored in the S3 bucket using the previous step. So the last step was to visualize the data that was present in the S3 bucket using Amazon QuickSight. And Amazon QuickSight provides various bar graphs, pie charts to in order to visualize the data. So it is a very effective tool in which the AWS provides. So in conclusion, we have learned about the applications of cloud computing and stock market investing, including real-time data analysis, machine learning, and high-performance computing, and also successfully performed algorithmic trading on AWS with using Amazon SageMaker and AWS Data Exchange. So here are the references that I have used in this presentation. So thank you for your attention. And if you have any queries, you can email me in the link provided. So if you have any questions, thank you.
Okay, Nishant, it was a good presentation from your side. Uh, what I've noticed is you have missed a story that needs to be explained at the start, a small story. You have heard this from me before also. So I want you
Yes.
to include it because it includes marks, okay? So I don't want you to miss out on those marks. Secondly, the content was nice, but in some slides I felt like you were reading the slides, and even though it is not a bad thing to do, but it doesn't look much professional because these recordings are being sent to the hiring partners. I want you to look more professional while presenting your slides. That is, if you have information on the slide itself, don't try to read it. Try to keep that information on the other tab in the Word or Notepad. Then you can read it from there, so that it is not showing in front of the uh, one who you're presenting, that you are not reading from the slide. uh, I think these two three queries are there that needs to be solved. Other than that, I find nothing out of place. Everything is fine. Yeah, the demonstration was good. uh, okay, so these two three things needs to be improved. Okay. Other than that, the
Thank you.
presentation was nice. Thank you.
Yeah,
You can,
thanks for
yeah, you can go now. Okay, Ashutosh Singh, you can start your presentation.
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible. I want you to turn your sorry, video as well.
Sir, I started
Yeah,
my
yeah,
video.
yeah, you're visible. Share your screen and start the presentation.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. Myself, Ashutosh Singh, and my task was to design web crawler and email automation. As I am enrolled in Python programming, these were two tasks assigned. A web crawler is used to extract and analyze data from website that can be used for digital marketing or to analyze the customer experience. It is used in various applications. The key features are it collect data from specified website that we assign, and it searches it searches particular data based on keyword that we provide, and it also can be used for list of questions. The objective is to demonstrate the capabilities and potential application of crawler. Coming to the technical stacks, in this project, I used Python as a programming language, and libraries and modules such as request to send HTTP request and receive responses, JSON to parse the JSON data that is coming from the website, and pandas to create and manipulate the data frames. In making of this project, Google Custom Search API is used to perform keyword-based searches on a specific website for keyword that we want to search. Coming to the users, it is used for content aggregation, such as we want to collect data from particular websites such as Quora or Reddit or Microsoft.com. It is used for market research, for digital marketing, analyzing trends or customer opinions, and you can also be used for competitive analysis. And it can also be used for regressive purpose for training of AI, also used for sentimental analysis of customer reviews or particular product. Coming to the implementation part, firstly in the video, uh, it was given how to design web crawler. Then in implementation, the user has to enter a keyword for particular search. Then Google Custom Search API will perform keyword based search on particular website that we specified. Then the custom search API will return the JSON data, and we parse that data, and then we store any variable, and then finally with the help of pandas library, we use to convert into data frame and for use for further analysis. Coming to the difficulties of this project can be very hard for that website that has captcha or that has dynamic websites that are driven by JavaScript, or that it in this project rate limiting, such as some website limit you can't scroll or search more than 5 times. So this is very difficult in this project. Sometimes unwanted data can also be collected. Filtering and cleaning of the data is very complex part, and maintaining and updating also tough part, because website changes regularly over time and maintenance is difficult. Coming to the how it works here, sir, is it visible?
No, it was not. Right now, difficulties in doing project slide
Is
is The visible.
Slide is visible. I think
Yes.
oh, Google is not. I will.
Just reshare the screen, and this time share your whole screen instead of only a single page.
Focus. Is it visible now?
Yes, now it's visible.
Sir, here, as I imported to few libraries such as request for HTML responses and send data pandas and JSON and time and date library. Here, user has to input a keyword. I mentioned such websites such as Quora and Reddit. Here is the key that this is my key that will perform custom search. This is the URL for custom search, and this is the CX value for that. Coming to the responses, the responses that will be generated, it will be stored in response variable. Then JSON response, the response we got in JSON format, then we have to parse that. So in this variable we will parse that, and we will store, such as we can store search time information, whether that website is at that time what is search, or how number of total number of pages, or next to pages. So this is try and accept block. If we get our result, then it will perform this, otherwise this will perform this block. And finally, after storing the question, then we will store in pandas data frame. I will run to show how it works. Sir, as I can give input such as Python interview questions. Then this is the Google crawler that provide data. What are the Python interview questions? That are some common questions that are asked to you by web users, such as how to prepare for a Python interview, and what are some interesting intermediate Python interview question, how to crack Python. These are some of the questions that given by Google crawler that developed. Coming to the next project, that is email automation using Python. The purpose of this project is to send automated emails using Python scripting. This is used to save time and effort. The key feature is we can configure send and receiver email address. We can also provide HTML. We can send HTML formatted email with custom content. And let's go to technical aspect of the project. This is also based on Python language and libraries and modules such as SMTP library used for SMTP connection and sending emails. Um, email.mime.multipart for creating multi-port email messages. Email.mime.text for adding HTML content to email messages. Email.mime.base for handling attachments, and email.encoders for encoding attachment data, and external dependencies such as SMTP and SSL. Coming to the use cases of this project, it is used for automated notification. It is used for email marketing campaign, automating the process of sending marketing to large audience, reporting generations, attaching generated report or document to email message and then automate. Task scheduling, it is used for task scheduling and personalized communication. Coming to the implementation part, firstly we will write the Python script Then a user will provide the email address of the receiver. The email, then in the email Python script, we will attach our attachment, and we write content in our body. The sender and receiver address are used to send the email. The email message is constructed using the MIME multipart and MIME text classes. The attachment file is read, it is read in read binary, so it is encoded to email. Then SMTP connection is made to configure the SMTP server. Then I have used send mail to send the mail to receiver. Coming to the difficulty, it is very difficult for to SMTP server configuration is very hard because Google removed the previous functionality, so it is difficult to attach email attachment to emails. Authentication, providing the correct credential is very important for doing this project. And attachments, sometimes attachments are not in some, it will not encoded or decoded properly. So here is the function. It is, here is the SMTP Google. Here is the import SSL library, SMTP library, and MIME types for attachment and OS. SSL is used for SMTP connection, and SMTP library is also along with used with it. Here is my email address. It is, if I use this variable, then my name will be shown. This is the email password. This will be generated by using two app verification. Then here we can enter receiver's email. Here is the subject body that I have written. You can write anything, whatever you want. And here I attached my resume. Here is my resume. Firstly, I will connect. So here is the my resume is attached. It is read in the read binary data. Then it is passed by you import OS function. Then here I enabled SMTP library with the help of SMTP. SMTP server connection is made. If I run this, it will ask for receiver's email. If I write my own email, college email, as file is not found, I will firstly upload file. If server removed from Google Colab, then it failed to connect. That's why. Now this will run. I am entering my college email ID. As you can see, the I have sent my resume along with this message to my college email ID. If I will show my ID, college email ID, Then here I received my email. This is you. This is the email automation function of email automation. So so that's all from my side. Thank you.
Okay, so Ashutosh,
Yes, sir.
uh, you presented two tasks or it was the same task?
No, these were two different tasks.
Two different
First
tasks.
one was web crawler that used to extract data from website, and other one was email automation.
Okay, okay, understood. So, firstly, I have a question for you. Then we'll go
Yes,
over
sir.
what you need to improve on, okay? So your web
Okay, sir.
crawler, uh, it searches for different keywords that you put in the search box, correct?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes,
So you search for interview questions for Python.
yes, sir. Yes,
Now,
sir.
does it search for the, so suppose if I search for the keyword Python, so will it
Okay.
search for the online sites that are Python related, or will it search for the content that is in the online slides?
Sir, as you can see, two websites. First one is Quora and Reddit. It will search one by
Okay,
one page. Then it will search. It will extract data from only Quora of first page, then second page.
okay. So it is not from the whole internet. It is not
Not from
talking
whole
to,
internet.
okay, fine.
That's why custom API is used. Custom
Okay,
search API.
okay, understood. Next is email automation. That is fine. I have no questions in that. That is done beautifully. In your presentations, you need to improve a lot though. Even though
Yes,
your
sir.
tasks were beautifully done, you had the knowledge, you knew what you were doing. So, firstly, in your presentations, you were lacking in flow. That is,
Yes,
you
sir.
did not prepare beforehand for this presentation. So, I think what do I mean by flow is your content should connect to each other. So even though your content was connecting, you were trying to read it off of the slides. That is fine for some cases, but it doesn't look professional. So I want you to just keep the keywords and try to look at the slides beforehand so that
Okay,
you
sir.
are clear about all the things. Which slide will uh, give what content. Next is there were no references, there's no question and answer slide. You did not include a short story as well. These things, I'll send you a mail regarding your marks for the presentations that you have given today. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Below that, there will be a review. Do
Okay.
read the review and try to improve on those points. Okay. So
Okay,
you
sir.
will have pointers, and each pointers you will have marks for each pointer, and then you will have a review stating why did you lose marks in each of those pointers. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So do keep an eye for that. Other than that, it is fine. Okay. Try to improve on those pointers,
Okay, sir. Try to.
and you can close the mic and video. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Uh, whoever wants to present, they can raise their hands. We will go according. Okay, Harsh, you can start your presentation.
Uh, Good evening, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible and visible as well.
Is my screen visible, sir?
Yeah, it is visible. You can start.
Okay, sir. Just a second. So, good evening, everyone. The title of the project that I am presenting is Web Crawler and Email Automation. There are two subtasks that are respectively Web Crawler and Email Automation. So, let's get started. So, with the first task, that is the Web Crawler. So, what we'll see? We'll see the overview of the project. The purpose that is to extract and analyze data from the web. That is done automatically. It provides valuable information and is used for various purposes. Uh, uh, from the start, let me make this clear. It collects the data as Sir asked in the previous presentation. It collects the data from from specific websites. For example, if I wrote reddit.com in the code, it will search from that specific website only. It uses keyword-based searches to retrieve relevant information and provides the list that we can store in a CSV format as well that we'll see in the code. So let's get started. The technical stacks that I have used is it is coded in Python. The libraries are pandas that I have used to create and manipulate data frames, JSON, JavaScript object notation, and we have sent HTTP requests and to receive responses. An external API, Google Search Custom API, has been used, and we will see we have got our API key and CX value from the Google's developer account that will be see. Use cases, there are many use cases. We can use that for content aggregation, collecting and organizing information from multiple websites, market research, analyzing the trends that are going on in the market, competitor analysis, question answering systems, sentiment analysis, and search engine optimization, identifying the relevant keywords that others are using, and so on. So, what difficulties did I get, and what difficulties can one get in the project? So, if if we get a captcha in a website, then it becomes very difficult for a web crawler to actually work. And the dynamic websites, they somewhat hamper our code. For example, extensive use of JavaScript, or it is doing some events when we have some function or when we visit, so it will hamper. uh, then there is rate limiting. Website services often enforce limits to prevent abuse. For example, we can't visit a website multiple times. There is a upper bound for that, so that may result in a limit. The data quality and noise. Sometimes we may collect not so important data into our CSV file. So that's a big issue. And the maintaining and updating crawlers as websites change, they are dynamic. So we have to regularly maintain our web crawlers. So implementation. So let's get into our code for implementing. So so let me open the Jupyter notebook on which I have coded the project. So yeah, so we have made the use of four lib three four libraries, that is request, pandas, JSON, date time for getting the date time, time delta. So first of all, we have been asked to input a keyword that we will search. The sites are google.com, reddit.com that we want. Okay. Now uh, this is the key till, and this is the key that we have generated by going to the developer Google accounts, and this is a unique key that we should keep secret. I haven't used the git ignore file here, but I will use it when I will upload this uh, in the uploaded code in the GitHub. And this is the CX value that gets generated every time we want to include a search box into our own websites. So we get the response, JSON response, we are loading the response, and every time we are collecting. And if an exception occurs, we are just printing the exception and correcting rest of the keywords that we get. And finally, we store the uh, we store our string that we get in a CSV file. So let us run this. So for example, I want to search um, Google interview questions. So let us see. So these were the top 20 interview questions that I got, and I can see that it has made a CSV file. Google interview questions, and I can access the file for that. So this was the first project. Now let's go to the sec second. So there are some limitations, as I already told. The code does not handle authentication or pagination, which should be necessary in production level crawler. Enhancements could be made in exception handling, that different types of exceptions are thrown, and how would we handle that? Uh, like URLs are not collected, so we can write some code to collect URLs as well. Now let's go to the second task, that is email automation using Python. So the objective is to send automated mails using Python scripting, and it can be used in mass mailings or so. We'll see the key features, the configuration of the senders and the receivers. Objectives is to demonstrate the capabilities and potential applications of automated email sender. So the technical stacks that I have used is Python, SMTP library for establishing an SMTP connection and sending emails, email.mime.multipart for creating multiple email messages, email.mime.text for adding HTML content to email messages, email.mime.base for handling attachments, and email encoders for attaching data. So this encoder, like all the data that we see on the internet, it is usually encoded in the form of UTF-8 that we can see. And there is an external dependency, that is the SMTP server. We will generate an app password and we'll see what is it. So let's get to the use cases. So automated mailing notifications, we can use this to automate the mailing process. Email marketing campaigns, automating the process of sending marketing emails to large audience. For example, we want to send a personalized email to very large audience, then we can just extract all the email IDs from a CSV file, preferably with their names and different details, and we can just automate the process. We can schedule tasks in an organization. We can uh, do personalized communication with the dynamic content, that we can store names and so on in variables in Python. So what difficulties did I get? So on May 30, 2022, Google removed the less secure app passwords in Google accounts. So I incurred this difficulty that I had to use app password and change some configurations. So this was the difficulty. Now in the project side, for example, the like different encodings are used, so we have to handle that. Uh, so authentication is a big issue that I just told ki we have to use app passwords. So we have to configure the SMTP server settings, including the host, port, and so on, and handling potential errors and exceptions that may occur during email sending process, and implementing appropriate handling and login mechanisms. So for example, the two-step authentication is on, then we can't log in from a third party. So this is the things. So let's get to the implementation part that we can see. So uh, first of all, let me close the previous project, and let me so this Python file has been made to store my password. So this is the code. So for example, I have used email.message from email message. I have imported it, and this thing is for storing my password. For example, I have gone and switched on the two-step verification. Then I have created an app password that is a 16-digit unique password to be used by third-party applications. for using SMTP server. So this is stored in my variable name passwords underscore my in this file that is in the same directory. We have imported SSL SMTP library. So first of all, we want to take input for the recipient. Okay, and this is a sample mail, and the body is this. So we want to, for example, when we receive a mail, it contains information about the from to an subject. So this is the respective thing. That subject will be sample mail and so on. So this is the context that we are creating. And on port number 465, we are setting up a SMTP login with the sender email and password that we have given. And we are finally sending the email. So let's run it. So it is asking for the email ID. So let me give one of my email IDs here. Okay, I'm getting some error. Okay, let me just check for a second. Acha, I have just removed the app password. So let's create one. Uh, why did I do that? Okay. I've just removed the app password. So let's create a new app password and see. So let's create this for mail and the device would be a Windows computer. So yeah. So now now I am replacing this with. So now I think this should work. Restart and run all. So let me check. Hmm. Okay, it's not responding correctly. So let me reopen this one more time. Let me just reopen this one more time. Uh, so let's run all. Hmm. So Yeah. So it is showing a security alert from for my email, which I have logged in through a third party, and this is the sample mail that my Python script generated. So that was it. Now, so this was the demonstration of the project.
Okay, so Harsh, the project demonstration was explained really well. Same as Ashutosh, you knew what you were doing. Even you solved a problem that you were facing right now. So debugging skills are valued here. So that is a plus point from your side. At the same time, there are two, three small things that needs to be added in the slides because your demonstration is flawless. It's just that your presentation needs to be updated. So I think because you're new, you don't know, but you need to add a story, a short story explaining the relevance of your project, a 30-second story or a 10-second story, anything that relates to real life, and the significance of your project is also explained to all the interns. Okay. Secondly, there should be a reference slide, a end slide. In the end slide, you should put your email ID or your contact info if anyone wants to contact you regarding the project in the future. So there are many more interns coming. They will have problems in the projects. So if they see your video and they want to contact you regarding any issues, they must be able to do that. So I want you to put an end slide, a reference slide, and a question and answer slide. So even if right now this demonstration that you're giving, it can be questioned by any of the interns if they have any questions. So if they are not able to understand something, they should have the opportunity to question you so that you can explain it to them. So that opportunity gets created once you add a question and answer slide. Okay. So
Okay, sir.
these small things needs to be added. Don't worry, I'll put these into your review so you can remember and you can add these in the future. Okay.
Sure, sir. Sure.
Thank you so much, Harsh.
Thank you, sir.
You can stop your presentation. Now, Binayak Das, you can start your presentation.
Yes, sir. So, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible. You're visible as well. Harsh Kumar, you can stop your presentation. 1 second, I'll stop your screen sharing. Yes, now you can start. Binayak, you can start your presentation. Yes.
Good evening, sir. I am Binayak Das, and today's topic for my presentation is Doctor Search website. Well, this is a project which is a web-based doctor finding system that allows users to easily find and schedule appointments with doctor. This is a website which is really user-friendly, and users can search for doctors based on their location and specialty. Once the search is performed, the system retrieves the doctor's information from database and show it to the users. These are the tools and technologies used: Figma, Locofy, jQuery, PHP, MySQL, Postman, and 000 web host for hosting the web application. We will go through them, each one of them one by one. Front end part of the web page. The user interface of the web page is created using Figma. It is basically a collaborative web application for interface design. Let's see how the Figma layout was created. So here you can see this is my Figma layout which I created in figma.com. I have divided the sections into three parts: header, which contains all of these doc find, home, services, and main section which creates the section for finding the doctors, and then the footer section where this image and some of the other contents are visible. Uh, then the layout which we created in Figma is converted to its respective HTML and CSS codes with the help of Locofy. Locofy is basically a web application which uses AI to convert the design into a production ready codes in HTML, CSS, or React.js, Node.js, or other applications. Let's see. So I have used this plugin called Locofy plugin. I use the Locofy plugin to convert the layout into CSS code. And here is my just a second. Here you can see this is where I converted the layout into HTML and CSS codes with the help of Locofy AI Builder. Now the backend part of the project, to create the database of all the informations of the doctors, I have used MySQL, and all the data are stored in the database. Here you can see the database which I created in my PHP admin. Here are all the doctors' data, which contains doctor's ID, doctor name, doctor information, doctor's area, doctor image, and doctor's category. Then PHP is used information extraction database for and displaying in the front end design. Here is my web services PHP. Just a second. So second, let me log in once again. This is the file manager where I have put all the codes of the project. And this is the PHP file where I've connected the database, and I am extracting all the data regarding the doctors through this PHP file. And it is really important to check if the web services which we have used is working properly or not. And for that purpose, we use Postman to check whether the web page is extracting the information correctly or not. So here you can see the Postman app where I am extracting the search parameter, which is general physician, and search area, let's say Ahmedabad, and I am using the post method to search the doctor's data. Here you can see the data is displayed here. This is doctor's image file and its information regarding the doctor, and here is the second doctor, Dr. Swapnil Patel, and all the information regarding the doctor. It is displaying in the form of HTML because I have used HTML layout to extract the data to display it in the front end. And at last, I've used jQuery to connect the front end and the back end part of the web application. Let me show you the. Here's the jQuery part, where I'm basically connecting the web services PHP file to the front end part of the document. And I am collecting the doctor's type, which is doctor's categories, and doctor's area, which is the city name, from the database, and displaying it in the search form section, which I've created in the HTML above. Here you can see search section, and all the data will be displayed here once I will try to find the doctors. So the working of the web page, the user clicks the find button after entering the required information. Then as I said, jQuery initiates a request to the backend doctor's data, and it is then displayed in the front end part. The backend web service retrieves the doctor data from the database, and the data is seamlessly transferred to the web service, and jQuery collects and presents the data in the front end. I have used the file management and hosting part of the web application. All the project files are stored in the file manager, as I showed you. Here you can see all the files regarding the project is displayed, and all the database is also created using the database manager feature of the web host. Here you can see my database manager. Just a second. Here you can see this is the database which I created with the respective name, user, host, and this is where I used my PHP admin, and this is the doctor database. The website is hosted directly on the web host platform. So this is how the web application looks like. And let me demonstrate how the project works. We will select the categories. Let's say we select cardiology, and city if we select Mumbai. And as soon as we click the find button, you can see the doctors found in your area. This is the doctor which is extracted from the database and displayed on the front end. And if we try to find doctors which does not exist, let's say orthopedics, let's say Hyderabad. And if you try to find doctor which does not exist, the message is displayed, no doctors found in our area. So these are the resources which I use. Thank you.
Okay, Binayak. So the presentation was fine. Try to improve on the presentation skills. I think you are
Yes,
lacking in confidence most of the time
yes,
because,
sir.
see, even if though you were not lacking in confidence because of your voice, it was very low. It felt like that you were lacking. Okay, so try to keep a leveled voice. At the same time, do not be monotonous. Being monotonous, what it does is it brings a constant flow that is not, so it bores the, see, I understand that this is a technical aspect, so getting bored or not doesn't matter. But if you modulate your voice, then it will keep the presentation interesting. At the same time, you will be able to express more clearly and more, more betterly in front of the audience. As if you can keep the audience engaged in your presentations, they will have less doubts, and once these doubts are cleared, you will not have any problem. So these things needs to be taken care of. At the same time, try to include a story. So everything was included in the slides. The formatting for the slides at the same time needs to be improved. Okay, so there was this content, but the content was jumbled. So try to, even though it was in the points, try to improve it more, because the formatting as of now, it looks normal, average, I would say. So if you want to improve on the marks, try to improve on the formatting. Okay. Story needs to be included. Now, what kind of a story needs to be included is, you need to include a story where you explain the significance of the doctor appointment page. You can even tell that you received a project from Hackveda itself to create a doctor appointment page, and then you met a doctor whose requirements were these, and then you had created so some kind of a story like that, so that it explains the significance of the project in the real world. Okay.
Okay, sir. And sir, how long should be the story?
10 seconds, 15, 30 seconds. A short story
Okay.
is needed, not big story, just significance of the project in the real world. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So I'm telling you this because it includes marks and I don't want you to lose marks. Okay.
Sure,
That's
sir.
right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Other than that, everything is fine. If there are any such queries that are remaining, I'll send it to you via the review of your presentation. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Thank you so much, Binayak. You can leave now. Binayak, at the same time, put your email ID in the chat as well.
Yes, sir.
Okay.